What's going on, people? It is Irish Gunner HD here. You can call me Irish, and today you're going to be watching some Battlefield 3 gameplay. So if you have gotten fed up with all the Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 4 CTE and Battlefield Hardline footage that you've been spammed with, no doubt, lately, I am hugely enjoying Battlefield 3 at the moment, especially since it's super populated. It's really easy to find games of pretty much any kind of TDM, any kind of like no shower canals kind of game. I haven't actually checked and seen what the Rush and Conquest game mode servers are like, but I'm sure they're just as populated. What with the game being free recently and discounted before that and stuff like that, the game is really populated. But yeah, so it's just some TDM and canals, and I amazingly, in my one and only game that I played this evening, I jumped in, thought I'd record a gameplay, played one game, and I went 50 and 16. With an SG553 no less, and a sniper with the M98B as well. And yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the SG553. It's not my most favourite gun in the world. It's very bland to me. It's not particularly interestingly good at anything. But it was automatically selected for some reason in my engineer kit for BF3. So I decided to run with it, see what I could do, and I went 50 and 16, I think it was. So yeah, hopefully you enjoy the gameplay. But today I want to talk a bit about the CTE and some other general news-ishy stuff like that's been going on around Battlefield lately. So yeah, so I'm actually a member of the CTE. So I don't know if I think I said on Twitter when I got access, but I never made a video about it at the time. I'm actually like have the permission, have the download for the CTE. I play in it from time to time. And like it gets these glowing reviews from the likes of Rival X Factor and Level Cap and all that, of being like, and Matimio and the likes, for being like this huge big update and loads of sweeping changes to like the netcode and all these things that are getting fixed and added and stuff. And while the things that are getting added, I do notice, obviously, like the things like the most recent one, which was something that I'm gonna be talking about later on, like the HUD changes and stuff like that, and the kind of things that they're adding in just to like test out. As far as the actual gameplay goes, it's still Battlefield. It's still Battlefield 4, pretty much. Like, I personally never had a huge issue. Now, I have to be honest, I never had a huge issue with netcode. I think if I had to guess why, it would be because I follow my own personal video that I made, which is how to reduce your lag and all that kind of stuff. I'll actually leave a link to that in the description if you haven't seen it. So basically, it's you go into your server browser and you search for a specific set of settings that I show you, like which ones will be good for you. It's aimed towards Europeans, but obviously just adjust it whether you're in America or Australia or Asia or whatever. But yeah, so that's basically, I don't have any huge issues in the base game. Every now and again I run into a game where it's particularly bad, where I do definitely notice that I'm getting killed around corners, the hits aren't landing and stuff like that. But the CTE isn't actually, it's not a huge improvement, if I'm completely honest. It's well, I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is a huge improvement, but maybe I'm just not susceptible enough to notice that. Maybe I'm just not like sensitive. I think is the word, not susceptible. Maybe I'm not just sensitive to it enough to notice. But yeah, I don't notice a huge difference. I definitely notice that I'm killing people, and I don't, like, as I said, I occasionally come across the odd kind of bullets not landing kind of thing, and that getting killed around corners and stuff like that in the retail game. But if I'm honest, I also see that a lot in the CTE as well. And I have the thing set to high, or whatever, the network update frequency. I've got that set to high. It's all where it should be. But to be completely honest, I don't see a massive difference in the netcode. But as for the updates and the changes that they put out more frequently, yes, they're fun to take advantage of. Like I haven't actually fully tweaked the new HUD thing, but like those are definitely interesting options and stuff that, when they eventually do make it to Battlefield 4 retail, which is Lord knows, which is one of my gripes with the CTE actually, is they update the CTE like once a week or twice a week or once every 2 weeks or twice every 2 weeks or whatever it is. Not very often do we see those changes go into the retail. Like, when was the last time there was a big retail patch other than the netcode one that brought in a load of the changes from the CTE into the retail version? I don't know, like, it's the amount of changes and stuff like that they're doing with the CTE doesn't seem to be translating over to the retail, as I'm sure most people that don't have access to the CTE would like. Now, another problem with the CTE is that it's hugely underpopulated. Now, again, it's I think it ties in with the fact that, like, okay, I complain a lot that Battlefield 4 servers are really unpopulated. I think a large reason is, as I said, I use that specific filter from my server settings. I've actually had to take it off the 32-man servers. Like, as I say in the video, I usually search for 32-man servers. I've even taken it off that, and I still can only ever find 2 or 3 games that are in any way populated, compared to, as I was saying at the start of the video, Battlefield 3 is hugely populated. It's always got people playing, like full servers of 32-man servers. But yeah, the CTE in particular is like pretty bad. It's like there's like one server that's full, one server that has like 10 people in it, and one server that has like 2 people in it. So the server population in Battlefield 4 in general, CTE and retail, is definitely an issue. But yeah, like overall, the kind of tweaks. It's a good thing to be able to test out the weapons from the new DLCs. So that's where I'm moving next with this. The fact that the weapons from the newer DLCs are in the CTE, like before they come out with Dragon's Teeth, for example. The CTE has them weapons already, and we get to play with them, and we get to mess with them, and we get to test them out and see what they're like. But at the same time, that kind of takes away the whole point of paying for premium a little bit, doesn't it? Because you pay for premium, you pay for the maps and the weapons and like new attachments and camos, whatever. But like, you pay for premium, you're mainly paying for maps and weapons. And and you have to have a premium account to get into CTE. I know that, so take that into consideration. But there's something about it that just kind of makes me go, well, it's not going to be as big. Like, it makes the DLCs like hit less, like have less of an impact, as it were, when they land, because you've already been playing with all the new weapons for, Jesus Christ, like, how long has it been now? A month, probably more, that the Dragon's Teeth weapons have been in CTE. Maybe that's just me not remembering correctly, but it's been a good couple of weeks, if not a month, if not even more. So that's another thing that like kind of irks me. But overall, it's obviously a good thing. It's obviously a great thing for the game that they have that kind of thing going on, where we can give our feedback and like make the game better for people that don't have premium or don't have access to the CTE, who are still playing on the shitty version of retail Battlefield 4. Like, that's all good, but just some of the little things about it irk me, and overall, I haven't found it to be the big be-all and end-all saving Battlefield 4, making Battlefield 4 the great experience that I found it to, or that I hoped it would be. But yeah, I think that's about it for the CTE. Again, apologies, I don't think I mentioned this at the start. I have like something caught in the back of my throat, so if my voice is kind of not as interesting sounding as usual, I do apologize. I can feel it there as I'm talking, so that's my bad. But yeah, moving on then, there was a couple of news articles that I want to touch on. Dragon's Teeth, speaking of which, launches July the 15th, so we've got an actual date for Dragon's Teeth. So in about 11 days from now, so a week and a bit, just over a week and a half, we will get the Dragon's Teeth maps. And I'm going to say maps specifically because, as I said, we already have access to the weapons if you're in the CTE. So yeah, so that's pretty interesting. It's again, all my sources for things that I talk about are usually mp1st.com, so I'll leave the links in the description to these. So yeah, so it initially was announced that 20% off premium, so BF4 premium is now 20% off. So if you've been holding back on that and you still haven't picked up premium yet, maybe now, if you buy the base game and you're enjoying it and you just didn't have the cash for premium, it's 20% off on Origin, so check that out. And with Dragon's Teeth, coming early on July the 15th for premium members, it's probably a really good time to get into it. So we finally have a date. So I'm trying to think, when was the last one? Naval Strike was, God, that was about 2-3 months ago. Again, my timing, my guesstimation for my timing is awful, but yeah, Naval Strike was a long way away ago now, and that DLC has kind of died down. For me, at least personally, I don't see many people, I don't see many servers, I don't see many videos on Naval Strike gameplay. So yeah, we'll have to see how Dragon's Teeth turns out. Hopefully, it's good. But yeah, that's that. We finally have a date for Dragon's Teeth. So July the 15th, premium's now 20% off on Origin, so that's pretty cool. And then we have, lastly, I think, is the CTE updates, as I talked about. They changed the HUD clutter, so you can adjust the kind of opacity of like objects, and I think the size and whether they appear when you're hip firing and whether you're ADSing or aim down sights. They give you all the options to like completely fudge around with that to your own like heart's content, so that's pretty cool. Character flinching as well, like as you're taking damage and all that, like the screen shake or whatever. They're addressing that. And I think the game is over there, so I pretty much can't really go on much longer. So yeah, that's it. Just a few little Battlefield news items and my own personal opinion on my experience in the CTE. So if you enjoyed the video and if you enjoyed the new thumbnail and the new look of Irish Gunner HD on YouTube, I recently updated all my banners and thumbnails and logos and stuff like that on Twitter and stuff. If you like that, please do give this video a thumbs up. Thanks for watching and goodbye.